Hello and welcome along to another episode of this F1 Williams racing career with me, Daniel. We're back with F1 Manager 2022, and today in part 4 we've got our third race and we've also got a massive decision to make. Do we keep Latifi, or will the scout report for Antonio Giovinazzi suggest something else? We'll find out all of that as we go along. If you're looking forward to it, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content and some more from this one as well. You can find a link to the playlist so far in the eye above if you missed any of the first three. And a quick service announcement, as we said at the start, with me going back to work next week, this will be the final one of the video series from this, but we will be continuing this save over on Twitch in live streams. So keep your eyes peeled for the schedule for next month. We're going to be doing loads of F1 Manager, and I'm really looking forward to it because we can show the races in a bit more detail. But today, we go to Australia. It's the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne. It's a great racetrack, but our car is probably not going to do that well there. So let's start by looking at the upcoming events, because we've got a vote on new regulations, something I didn't think about when we were starting this career. That's a really nice little touch. We've also got our scout report on Antonio Giovinazzi just before this Grand Prix. It's going to be a really big decision to make. So let's continue through. We'll be back for any big news. Right, we're back for an important email, but which one is it? We have got a board confidence check-in. We are satisfied with your progress, basically, because we're at the back and we're expected to be there. Financial report, we'll take a look at that because we want to see what it's like. Season balance, it's going up. That's a positive sign. Monthly balance, not too bad. Our incomings are better than our outgoings. That's all you can ever ask for. We could probably spend a little bit more in truth. Let's go back to the inbox again though. We've read both of those. We've got a monthly car development report. We've been watching how Car 1 performs on track against other teams over the last month. Our car's top speed could be improved, we know that. I've added a full report below on what we have learned in general. This could be used to decide what car part designs to make over the next month. Well, I definitely like to make performance improvements to the top speed, but I'm not sure which ones make the biggest difference, to be honest. So we're going to go for the underfloor. Let's try and get this sorted out and make a real improvement. It's going to make a big difference to drag reduction, massive difference to speed. So let's go for it. We're going to focus on the design. We're going to go for balanced, or do we go for speed? No, we're going to stick balanced because we need to have a balanced, consistent car if it's not going to be a quick one. So through we go. Engineers 1, normal approach, that's fine. Although it's telling us the completion date at the top right. 69 days, 63, 58, 54. I'm going to leave one engineer free in case of an emergency, but I think we need to speed this up. So if we go for a rushed approach, I don't know if that's going to be particularly helpful. Does it mean it can fail? No, it does just mean it's quicker. But a lower expertise gain. I see. So we're going to have a little bit of trouble with that, but it does get it done in 39 days. And I want to improve this car. So let's get it done. 1.35 million spent. We want to get the floor of this car sorted. Give the drivers a chance, especially if we do get Giovinazzi in, who's a little bit stronger, of course. So let's go back to the inbox again. Just see what the other couple of items were. We have got urgent suspension low stock. We have a low number of our manufactured number 2 suspension design. It's currently fitted with car 2, and if we have an unlucky race weekend, we might run out entirely. I've added a report for car 2 and how many parts we have of its current build, but feel free to visit the warehouse. I'd recommend manufacturing a new version of this design as soon as possible. Absolutely, we're more than happy to do that. It was suspension, and it was this one. So we're going to manufacture another one again. Another 50,000 spent. So with our extra spare suspension part manufactured, we're happy. But today is the big day. We have got to make a decision on drivers because Antonio Giovinazzi has been scouted. He's a very good driver. He's an upgrade on what we've got. He's basically the reserve driver at the moment of Ferrari, and we want to try and tempt him back into Formula 1. Can we negotiate a contract with him? Is he going to be willing to come to us? He's open to negotiation. His patience is very high. So I think we've got to go for him. He's a big upgrade. And yes, we could wait a year with Latifi, knowing the car's not doing much, but I want the best driver. Let's make it as quick as possible. We're going to propose a contract. What does he want? We have no idea what he wants financially. So we don't have a clue what to offer him. Let's go back here because I want to see what Latifi's on, and I want to see what our other driver, Albon, is on. And Albon's obviously the one staying, and he's the better rated, so we've probably got to be fair there. Albon is on contracts 6 million a year, and his race target bonus is also 600,000. But 6 million is a massive amount. What is Latifi on by comparison? We have a look at him, because he's the man we're replacing after all. His salary is 630 grand. I don't think we're getting someone for that little, are we? So I think we're going to have to go for Giovinazzi. We're going to go to the inbox. I don't really know where to start unless, do we go and scout him again a bit further? If I do the detailed scouting, we know exactly what money he wants. And I know it takes 30 days, but our big car parts are going to take 39. So I think that might be the way to do it. We're going to do detailed scouting of Giovinazzi, and then we're going to try and bring him in line with the big upgrades to the car. That's the hope now for the rest of this year. Preparation for the Australian Grand Prix. Let's review our performance targets this weekend. Any more realistic? They are, potentially. Qualifying target is reach Q2, so you never know if something bizarre happens. We're not going to get fastest lap, and we're not going to have both drivers finishing 15th. But still, at least there's something more realistic to aim at there. I thought they were just going to be bizarre the whole way through. So let's head into the race weekend. We'll skip through practice, and we'll be back for qualifying in a moment. Well, a slight surprise in P3 as Alex Albon does split the Aston Martins and finish ahead of Stroll as he's getting used to those new car parks. It's making a difference. Latifi's not a million miles behind, but again, he's not going to be here for the long term. So let's just see how they get on because they've both now got full confidence of the car parts, better for the setup confidence. And hopefully as we go along, we're going to see better performances as a result. Really good signs there. Let's head into qualifying. This is massive, and we're expecting rain during qualifying. Does it give us a chance? I really hope so. Let's go and see. Please let the heavens open. Right, we have set both drivers up for 2 flying laps, and we're going to go early because 5 minutes they're expecting rain, 40% chance of it. So we are just going to go out and get some laps in. I think that is the most important thing at the moment. So I'm fortunate that it started dry because it probably could have done with being wet now. If we can get laps in, a couple take a gamble and then the rain comes, we might be all right. As Albon, you can see coming out in the background too, we have got a real opportunity. So I'm not going to watch these laps too closely. We'll just see how they get on. Fingers crossed we can put together some lap times and hopefully some others help us out here. We've got to keep an eye on that weather. The rain is expected in 3 minutes, but we will have done a fast lap by then. Latifi and Albon is ahead of Vettel. That is a big start for us. Second lap. Can they improve? No. Albon hasn't improved. Latifi hasn't improved. But have a look at the timings here. Because Albon is 9th ahead of Vettel. Latifi is 11th ahead of Stroll. So both of them ahead of their respective driver at Aston Martin. Which suggests we're moving forward in the right way. So let's get them back to the pits. We'll be back in a moment to see if Albon can finish above Vettel, which would be progress. Right, time to go with Latifi, I think. We'll go while the track's quiet for him after these 2 cars come through. When it comes to Albon, I'll probably wait a little bit longer just to see what happens. So these 2 are going through now. We are going to send out Nicholas Latifi. Again, try and get a couple of laps in. The last one should be perfectly timed then. And we'll do the same if we can now with Albon, and hopefully he just makes it then. We avoid the train. I know a lot will be coming out for 1 lap, but we want to try and squeeze 2 in, and this should allow us to just do so. So we're going to skip through to the end of the session, because qualifying's not that exciting for us at the moment, but we will see. If Albon can stay 17th, I'll take that in a heartbeat. We have got Vettel has finished last. Yes! Albon 17th, Vettel 18th, Latifi 19th, Stroll 20th. And if we can get Giovinazzi and get him performing, maybe that means we can be bona fide ahead of Aston Martin. I'm pleased with that. I know they're eliminated, but it's progress. We're making the right moves. Let's go to race day, see if we can get a good start. Very dry race day expected in Melbourne. Let's see what strategies we can set up. Latifi again will be the more cautious one. There is a one-stop strategy available. And I just wonder if maybe with Albon we go a little bit more aggressive today, or do we just try and conserve? I think we're going to conserve. We're going to go for one stop with Latifi, just get the job done. He is going to be starting like that. And for Albon, what do we do? Because we've got a really good driver, but I don't know what the limit is on the car. And does two stop help us? I don't think it does. So I'm going to start on the mediums to try and get him further up the field. But overall, we're going to go for the same one-stop strategy. Both of them just conserving their tyres, just get into the end. We'll see how many cars finish. Are there going to be any accidents? Are there going to be any DNFs? Or is it going to be 20 to the end again? Which certainly doesn't help us. Can Albon hold 17th? Because that would be a really good achievement for us. The first time we finish that high. Let's start the Australian Grand Prix. Go and find out. Here we go then. We're waiting for the lights to go out at the Australian Grand Prix. Alex Albon is on the second from back row. They're on the nice side of the track as well, which helps. And I'm going to immediately allow Albon, if I can, to be a little bit more aggressive at the start. And just hope that that works out. He stayed ahead for now. Latifi has been overtaken in the first corner, I think. Is he going to come out ahead? Albon's got up to 16th. He's above Mick Schumacher. Excellent work. Latifi has stayed 19th. He's playing the longer game because he's on the hard tyres to start with. Albon overtakes Schumacher. Let's watch that one, shall we? Into the first corner he goes. So Schumacher on the inside. And then Albon has the inside for turn 2. Sweeps round. That's absolutely lovely. Albon up to 16th. We've got a proper good driver there. He's going to be under pressure now. You would have expected that. But we're keeping him on the aggressive driving style for the first couple of laps. Because he's just behind Ricciardo as well. And I'd like him to have a go at overtaking. He's just starting to fall away a little bit now. And he's coming under pressure. Schumacher's got the quicker car. You would expect it to end in an overtake. We'll see out the first lap before we skip ahead. And I think give a couple of laps and Albon will probably just be holding up a train. He's already losing ground to Ricciardo, but you're asking a lot to catch the McLaren. So we're going to leave him on that pace for now. The fuel's absolutely fine. And we're just going to skip ahead and see how this unfolds. Let's take a back seat for now. And Mick Schumacher's now got DRS as we go into lap 3. That's why we went aggressive to try and hold it off. If it doesn't work for one lap, to be honest, I'll just go back to standard then. Because Schumacher's close. Albon's holding him, but not for long. He's down to 17th. There we go. Latifi has been overtaken by Stroll as well. So let's go to Albon and we'll put him back to standard racing. And let's just sit in, see how we get on to the first pit stop. There's a crash, several cars involved. Not sure who right now. Right, this is a big moment. Let's watch the replay. Crash involving multiple cars. We've not seen this yet. So it's the Red Bulls and the Ferraris at the front. What's happened here? Oh, Sainz has hit his teammate. Wow. Straight into the back of his teammate. Sainz is in the pit. Or was it Leclerc that hit Sainz? I'm not sure. Only one car out. But that is a pit stop done. Someone else is in. I was waiting to see if we got a yellow flag or a safety car. Or a virtual safety car. But none of that has happened. So at the moment, we're just waiting it out. The rest of the cars on track seemingly unaffected. Sainz has got 30 seconds to catch, and I'm sure he'll do it in no time. Let's skip ahead and get to our first pit stop. Leclerc has spun on turn 15, and Albon has got the gap down to Mick Schumacher again. So I think we're going to go a little bit more aggressively again and just see if he can get by. Latifi's half a second behind Stroll, so we'll do the same with him. And hopefully we can then get ourselves some good results here and overtake. Well, Albon's knocking at the door and he's done it. He's overtaken Schumacher and he's got half a tenth lead as well. So we're going to put him back down to standard racing now. Want to keep him at bay. He's got 2 laps of fuel in reserve somehow at the moment. Not sure how that's happened. So in fact, you know what? We'll go aggressive again. Just stick with it because Schumacher's closing you down. And we'll change the ERS here to defend. Give him the best possible chance. Just want to see how this little battle unfolds. Can he hold him off? Because we're coming forward towards a couple of long straights here. Schumacher's going to go for the overtake. Latifi not really getting any closer, to be honest. Does the ERS work? He's gone for it, Schumacher, but he holds him off. Excellent work. But now we're going to have to recharge the battery. So we're going to stick with that for now. Let's go to the first pit stop, see if Albon's still ahead. Are there going to be any more crashes? Because Sainz has only closed down 10 seconds so far. Well, Albon is getting attacked again by Schumacher. I think he's about to go through. He's gone round the outside. And he's got the move done. Another driver's locked up somewhere. It's Norris because he's going down the grid, I think. Tsunoda's in the pit. There's a crash. Several cars involved. Who is it? You don't get much information at the start, do you? So it's in the midfield. Norris is there. What's he done? Oh, he's been hit from behind. Norris hit by Tsunoda. That's why he's in a pit, to get his wing done. And it doesn't look like we're getting ourselves the safety car, does it? It's obviously been sorted out on track. So let's just get to the first pit stop, which is not that far away for Alex Albon. Right. Latifi has now been overtaken by Sainz. And lots of people are pitting for their 2 stops. So this could work in or against our favour just yet. Albon is still above the 2 Aston Martins. Mick Schumacher's run away into the distance, 8 seconds clear. But we have got a situation now where we could compete. Tsunoda not catching us quickly. Norris is miles gone. So we shouldn't finish last if we can get through this race. And Latifi's not actually losing much ground to Sainz. So with 20 laps gone, this is looking all right. And Albon is catching Gasly, who's just come out the pits. There's no point really fighting though at the moment. So we're just going to see it out. Right, we've entered the pit window for Albon. You can see he's in a scrap. He's got one straight behind him in Vettel. And he's got Gasly in front, who he can't get past. I'm not really sure whether we go aggressive here. Because the AlphaTauri should be on new tyres. I'm going to go aggressive for it. Just see how we get on. Doesn't matter if we wear the tyres. And we'll get through to the pit stop. The optimum lap will still come and pit. Might even go in slightly early just to try and get away from this train. Because then we should have a little bit of distance when we come out. We'll see how the next lap unfolds if he can get past. And if he can't, which it doesn't look like he can, I think we might have to bring him in slightly early. Latifi has taken Stroll. Excellent work from him. Brilliant to see. He is fighting for his seat, in fairness to him. What can Albon do? It's very tight in there. Do we gamble on boxing? Because I feel like he might get caught behind Tsunoda, the other one. Stroll's gone back past Latifi. And we're now on to the optimum lap anyway. So we're going to bring in Alex Albon. We're going to put him onto the hard tyre, which was planned. And that should see him through to the end of the race. So he's going to pit this lap. And for Latifi, who's got himself in a little battle there. Our Stroll's gone in anyway, so Latifi, we can now put the hammer down, so he's ahead after the pit stop too. Let's go aggressive with him and skip ahead. Albon is into the pits. He's behind Schumacher, of course, but he's well ahead of Stroll, which is the crucial bit. And that should see him into the end of the race now. Don't know if we really want to push that hard at the minute. I'm going to drop back to standard with him. Schumacher's gone past Latifi anyway. And Albon is starting to close the gap, so maybe that's when we look at pitting. The gap to Vettel's only 9 seconds though, so if he pits, we should be fine. We're into the pit window for Latifi. And if we have a look, we don't really know where people are in terms of pit stops, but Albon could be alright here. He really could. So let's just skip ahead to Latifi's pit stop and see how many others come in for a second stop. Because he's maintaining the gap, and that's the crucial thing at the moment. If he can get ahead of Vettel and maybe Schumacher, that would be amazing. Get him into that top 15. Norris is well behind now. Tsunoda's almost caught Albon. But he might have to pit again because he came in very early with that crash. Optimum lap for Latifi stop. We're going to put him onto the mediums. That will see him through to the end of the race and should pick up his pace a little. And then with Albon, it's just whether we need to go aggressive and try and hold off Tsunoda. I think we're going to do that. Just for now, because if Tsunoda's behind into the pit stop, we should finish above him. That's the plan. Well, Latifi's into the pits. He comes out just behind Stroll. And Tsunoda has now done Albon as well. So we're going to drop back to a standard one. There's no point pushing if you're going to be against a man who's pitting. Vettel has come out ahead of Albon crucially as well. So it hasn't worked out at the moment. But late on in this race, we will be able to push. And at the moment, 17 and a 19th, it's where we qualified and it's better than we've ever done. Well, we're into the final 10 laps. We've seen one pit stop for Sainz. We've seen not many others, to be honest. So I think this is the point where we're going to have to start making decisions. Do we go aggressive? Do we push? There's not a huge amount left in the tyres for either of them. So I might have to wait a little longer yet, especially with the gaps as they are. Well, we're into the final 3 laps. And you know what? We're miles behind people. I don't think it's really worth pushing that much. But I would like, if I can, to try and show some sort of aggression towards the end of the race. So we are going to go for it. We're going to go aggressive with both drivers and we'll just see how they finish. Hopefully they survive. Tsunoda's pitted again. Right, there's a chance now. Now it makes sense to do it. Albon is above Tsunoda by 2 seconds. So pushing is the likely answer here. Latifi's going nowhere. But if Albon can hold on, and we might have to help him manage this, because he's a quarter of a second behind on the last lap. So Albon, let's get your ERS on. Defend. Albon, go attack. Please. Please hold on. Let's get him on screen. He's got Tsunoda right behind him. And we're coming towards the final parts of the lap. Tsunoda's going to take him, isn't he? He's going to take him. He's only got 20% on the ERS left. He's got to go for it to the finish line. Is this our last lap as well? That's the big question. Last lap coming up. The battery's going to go. We've gone too early on it. So the slower half of the lap will go to neutral. And again, it's Albon involved in a little bit of a progressive push. He's trying to get up to 16th. I'm not sure how Vettel managed to get so far clear. But to be fair to him, he's pushing ahead of Tsunoda, which would be an incredible effort. I don't know if I want to try and harvest electricity at this stage. Push. Fuel doesn't matter. We're going to harvest for a few little seconds here. I know it's a bold move, but we're going around some slow corners. Get a bit into the engine. We're going to have to go defend. Just see if he can survive it. Right, the battery's gone. He's used all that up on the last one. Come on. If Albon can hold on to 16th, it's an incredible effort. We're giving him all the fuel. We're giving him all of the pace. Can he do it? It's going to go right to the line. Latifi's made a mistake, you idiot. Albon holds on for 16th. Oh, Latifi. You've not crashed on the final lap. The first ever DNF I'm going to see is Latifi. No pressure. Oh, that's it. Giovinazzi, welcome to Williams. You are going to be in, son, because that is the end of Latifi. Final lap cost us a finish. And how much to repair the car, sorry. Absolute clown. Latifi is the first man out. Critical damage to the chassis. And Albon does really well to finish 16th. I'm not sure what to say other than Giovinazzi, you are in, son. We will get you a contract as soon as you tell us your terms. An interesting race, a far more eventful one. Alex Albon proving his credentials for this team. But Nicholas Latifi, that is the mistake that makes my decision. If it was difficult before, it's easy now. We finished 16th and not at all. Very, very frustrating. And Alex Albon's performance is good because we pick up the first development point for him, which should allow us to boost him in terms of his attributes. So we'll go and take a look at that before we finish. And then, of course, this save will continue on live stream. So the one thing I did want to show you before we finished in the inbox is there's a vote on minor technical regulations for the 23 season. Our data suggests it's become too easy for drivers to follow cars closely in front to gain a racing advantage. The proposals aim to create more space between cars and reduce the number of red flag incidents. I don't know whether I want that as a fan because you want drivers racing closely. Do we go for airflow or do we go for cooling ones? I'm going to go for the cooling changes. We'll see what happens overall. Who knows if our vote's going to be important? We'll find that out in the next stream. But let's go through to the drivers because we had a development point for Albon. So we can improve him in a certain area. And it's either going to be defending or cornering. And I think cornering is the one we probably have to go for. He is consistent. He's good at most other things. So we are going to go cornering, up. We are improving Alex Albon. That's a lovely position to be in. He's earned that. If you did enjoy this episode though, our best ever finishes yet again, although Nicholas Latifi has shown why he will now be leaving Williams very soon, then please do put a thumbs up on it, subscribe down below for daily FM22 content, and make sure you follow us over on Twitch where this save will continue over the next few weeks. We'll go through the races in a bit more detail. I hope you're looking forward to that. In the meantime, all the other key links are up in the eye above with all the other platforms in the description below. But thank you very much for watching as always. Ways to support the show are down there too. And I'll see you again next time for FM22. We're back with daily content later today.